The air was damp that morning, the kind of humidity that sticks to your skin and makes a morning ride feel heavier, more serious. I turned the key. The digital dash of the 2025 Honda X-ADV flickered alive. Sharp, clean, futuristic, like the control panel of a compact adventure spacecraft. The fuel gauge winked, RPM zeroed out, traction control lit up, and the entire machine felt like it was waking up with intent. My hand wrapped around the right grip, thumb hovering just over the starter. There was a quiet moment where the city behind me felt paused, waiting, almost holding its breath with me. Then I pressed the button. The engine didn't start, it lunged awake. A deep growl rolled beneath me, not overly loud at first, but full of weight, as if the bike wasn't simply turning on, it was clearing its throat. The 745 cubic centimeters parallel twin carried a tone that felt calculated and primal at the same time. There was no delicate hum, no polite whisper. It sounded like a machine that knew the road belonged to it, and the rider was merely along for the ride. The exhaust note bounced off nearby walls, a gritty basso rumble that vibrated through my boots, up my legs, into my chest. The air tremored slightly, like someone dropped a distant bass beat into real life. I let it idle for a few seconds, just listening, just absorbing. I pulled my gloves tighter. This wasn't going to be a casual ride. You can feel it with some bikes the moment they ignite, the shift in atmosphere, the warning in the tone, the undeniable presence. The X-ADV didn't whisper a greeting. It issued a statement. I eased my thumb off the brake and gave it the smallest twist of throttle. The response was immediate, not delayed, not polite, not softened. The sound sharpened like metal sliding against stone. Clean, aggressive, thrilling. It echoed through the helmet, a raw mechanical symphony engineered somewhere between necessity and insanity. The tires rolled forward, grip firm against asphalt, suspension alive and ready, long travel stance giving the bike that hybrid DNA, half scooter, half rally predator. The city was barely awake. Shop shutters still half closed. A few commuters sipping early coffee, unaware that a mechanical roar was about to paint the street in adrenaline. I kept it steady at first, letting the bike build heat, letting the exhaust settle into its natural voice. Even at low RPMs, the X-ADV sounded like it wanted to kick dirt, jump curbs, and rewrite traffic laws. It wasn't trying to sound angry, it simply was. Then the first open stretch appeared, just long enough, just empty enough, just tempting enough. I let the throttle roll deeper. No, that's the wrong word. It didn't detonate. It expanded, like cracking open a steel container of thunder, letting pressure escape in a single breath. The exhaust didn't just make noise, it released atmosphere. The engine spun faster, each surge upward more violent than the last, the pitch climbing with a kind of controlled chaos. My grip tightened instinctively, a reflex older than thought. The torque punched immediately, pulling forward with a sincerity you can feel in your spine. The front end didn't lift, but you could sense that it wanted to, like a disciplined animal holding itself in check. The helmet didn't muffle the sound, it amplified the experience. The air pressure inside shifted with every burst, creating a private concert in my skull. It was rhythmic, mechanical, monstrous. But what startled me wasn't the volume. It was the character. The X-ADV doesn't scream like a sport bike. It growls like something larger, older, territorial. A sound you don't hear with your ears alone. You feel it with your instincts. I passed a row of metal shutters. The echo slapped back instantly, doubling the soundtrack into something biblical. Noise became structure, architecture made of vibration. The city itself was becoming an instrument, and the X-ADV was the player. My pulse synced to the revolutions, uninvited but in perfect time. The bike wasn't pulling me into speed, it was pulling me into focus. I hit a gentle curve, leaned slightly. The chassis responded like it already knew the intention. The suspension compressed, rebound controlled, delivering feedback that felt precise but forgiving. The sound didn't soften, it sharpened under load, like a blade gaining edge with every swing. Another twist of throttle, harder this time. This was the moment where thrill and fear shake hands. The X-ADV surged forward with unapologetic force. The road blurred not because of speed, but presence. The bike occupied space so fully it bent the atmosphere around itself. The exhaust crackled between shifts. Not pops, not bangs, but raw mechanical punctuation, like metal applause for combustion excellence. Every vehicle I passed reacted differently. Some drivers turned heads. Some froze mid-conversation. A cyclist visibly jumped as the sound swept past. The sound wave from the X-ADV wasn't just traveling, it was announcing, declaring, branding the air with unmistakable identity. By now the engine was singing its true song. The 270-degree crank configuration delivered that uneven, offbeat pulse, less harmony, more war drum. A signature heartbeat of wild precision. It felt less like a scooter engine, more like an adventure bike soul transplanted into metropolitan rebellion. The brakes too were part of the soundtrack. Bite clean, decisive, a metallic whisper before silence. But silence never lasted. The moment throttle returned, the world filled again. The X-ADV didn't exist quietly. Even in gentler moments, it hummed with restrained violence. There was a tunnel ahead, short but irresistible, the visual mouth of sound temptation. Instinct overrode logic. I entered low, steady, then opened the throttle just enough. The world turned acoustic cathedral. The sound ricocheted forward, sideways, backward, everywhere at once. A surround experience no speaker system could ever replicate. The X-ADV's voice multiplied, layered, reborn in real time. The tunnel delivered truth. This bike wasn't loud for attention. It was loud by nature. Every decibel felt earned, engineered, inevitable. When I exited, the sudden open air felt like stepping out of a dream into daylight reality. The sound normalized again, but my heartbeat didn't. The rush lingered like aftertaste. Addictive, dangerous, memorable. I slowed near a crosswalk. A pedestrian waiting to cross gave me a cautious smile. Not annoyed, not impressed, just acknowledging the presence of something larger than routine. The bike didn't intimidate to threaten. It intimidated to announce existence. There's a difference. The road opened into a mountain-bound stretch. Softer scenery, sharper curves. The X-ADV shifted personalities effortlessly. In the city, it was aggressive royalty. Here, it became primal athlete. The ecosystem changed, but the sound identity remained. A deep thunder note layered with mechanical precision as I climbed higher. The air thinned, the temperature dipped, the exhaust seemed to breathe differently, deeper, clearer, less filtered by humidity. Each throttle roll now carried longer echoes through open hills. It was less about noise and more about message. I am here. This is momentum. This is combustion elevated to art. Corner after corner, the bike proved it didn't only roar, it performed. Stability at lean, confidence on throttle exit, traction intelligent and present. But no matter how technically impressive the ride became, the soundtrack remained the star. There is a misconception about loud bikes, that volume equals shallow thrill. The X-ADV disproves that. This bike doesn't shout for attention, it narrates experience. The sound isn't a side effect, it's a storytelling device. By the time I stopped at an overlook point, the engine idled again, calmer now like a predator resting after proving a